By this point, you guys know I rock heavy with Coach Prime, right? JJ Redick, those that don't know, he is an ex-NBA player. He came out with this tweet the other day. I'm just hearing about all of this stuff today. And LeBron James retweeted it or put on his Instagram, said, couldn't have said it better. Straight facts. And I'm seeing articles all over saying JJ Redick and LeBron James hating on Deion Sanders. Here's what he said. I grew up in the NBA. The teams I was on, we had plenty of motivational speakers. Some of them I really took a lot from, and a very few were impactful for our team. None of those talks were recorded and then posted on social media. What are we doing? Is the locker room not sacred? Boy, oh boy, I have a lot to unpack with this video. You guys want to watch the full thing because we have a few people that weigh in on it. We're going to first start with Kwame Brown. Kwame Brown is an ex-NBA player known as the biggest bust ever. Played with Kobe Bryant. Now he have a platform to bust life, and he weighed in on it from a racial standpoint. Now, for those that don't know the video, it is on his son, Well Off Media, and it's a Deion Sanders meets with Joe Embiid in an entire 76er scene. And so basically what you have is Deion Sanders sitting here, and he is talking, giving them game for about 20 minutes that we see. It's nothing insane. You see him shaking everybody's hand, all that type of deal, right? So now let's go to what Kwame Brown had to say.
JJ Redick, and you have LeBron James, two basketball players worried about football. Now, I know LeBron done played football before. Nevertheless, for the last 20 years, you've been a basketball player. JJ Redick, the great white hope, the stupid shit that you said, boy, it don't make no sense. Now, you mean to tell me we got a JJ Redick that come out against Deion Sanders, a black father, who is not only present in his kid's life, he is the driving force of their life. He's not only present in his kid's life, he's present in the player's life that he coached. He's coached these kids up from Little League. Now they're in a situation where they're in college, making money, starting YouTube channels, and doing great things. So Deion Sanders is promoting his son, Deion Jr., one son who is no longer playing sports, but he didn't give up on life because having a daddy like Deion, and everybody expects his kids to be exactly like him. So having a daddy like Deion, where your father can overshadow your whole life, and to have a son who figure out a niche outside of sports that he's happy doing and people respect his niche, why in the hell wouldn't his father promote that? JJ Redick, you say the locker rooms are covered or sacred? The locker rooms are sacred. Oh, really? How is the locker room so sacred when Gilbert Arenas brought a goddamn gun into the locker room and everybody in the locker room told the story? How is the locker room sacred when you have countless and countless of players that are talking about what goes in the locker room? How is the locker room sacred when you had Antonio Brown bring a camera, a recorder of his own, Instagram Live into a locker room? How is the locker room sacred when Michael Jordan filmed The Last Dance? And there's plenty behind the scenes locker room footage of The Last Dance. How is what you saying, JJ Redick, making any logical sense, sir?
Ooh, so that was from Kwame Brown on that angle. Now, at the end, I'm going to give my thoughts and I'm going to break every single thing. Now, the next people I want to hear from, next person, is, do y'all remember Rob Parker? So Rob Parker and Chris Bouchard, Odd Couple, they have their show, and he broke it down from his perspective. Now, Chris Broussard had a perspective, but I want to play Rob Parker part. And I want you guys to listen to this.
Yeah, I just think JJ is once again way off from the standpoint of everybody, Chris, runs their locker room differently. It ain't the same. There are some locker rooms and some guys who would say, turn the camera off. We don't want it on. They would.
Yep.
And other guys don't care. When I covered baseball in the 90s, Chris, you were an opposing player, you better not come in our clubhouse. Better not. They would fight you, Chris. They would, and then other clubhouses, they don't care.
Right.
Your buddy come over, dap you up, give you a jersey. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's just everybody's different. And if the 76ers didn't want it, trust me, it wouldn't have happened. Even though it wasn't the locker room, right? You said it was like it was in a. Do you see what I'm saying? Like
lounge or something.
Right.
Yeah.
And if it was, they would have said, Deion, no, they would have told him up front. No, we don't want this out. We don't want this on video. And everything's on video. This is the same guy, JJ Redick, Chris. After the Lakers started, 0-5, and they got blown out after a game or something, told us to forget about the season and just salute LeBron all year. Remember that? Hello, JJ.
I forgot about that.
JJ, guess what? The Lakers went to the Western Conference Finals, and you told us to forget about the season after 5 games. Come on, dude. I know you played. I got respect for that. But come on with some of this.
Oh, and you hearing from a lot of different perspectives. Let's hear from JJ. He finally responded because he have all the heat and everybody is doing videos. Everybody is criticizing, everybody talking about him. What do he have to say? I want to interrupt every part and break it down, but I'm going to do that at the end.
A lot of people think I'm referring to Deion Sanders. I'm referring to Coach Prime. In some ways, yes, right? Because, his talk to the Philadelphia 76ers was posted to social, and I recognize that the 76ers didn't do that, right? That was Prime's people. The difference for me, first of all, I love what Prime is doing. I f*** with him hard. Like, he's awesome. Like, love it. Love it. That was not a knock at Coach Prime. Let me explain the difference, though. Coach Prime is coaching college football, all right? I have no issue with him having cameras on him all the time. He's selling a program. He's selling a culture. He's trying to get his kids and his players NIL deals. He's trying to build the profile of Colorado football. It's a totally different thing. You think about the change in the landscape of how college programs approach social media. They are selling. It is a recruiting tool. I couldn't imagine when I was at Duke to have behind the scenes access all the time. There's cameras at Duke all the time, and they post everything on social. Like, that is the day and age we live in. There's no going back. We've opened up this box. There's no going back. I recognize that. I'm not even referring, partially referring to the dinner speech that Coach Prime gave, but it's more about it's like Grant Williams in the huddle showing leadership, Jaylen Brown dribbling a basketball on the sidelines. I get it. We want content, but I make content. I'm in this. I know. Some things don't need to be posted. Some things there doesn't need to be a camera on. It's interesting because I when I was having conversations with friends the next day, I kept using the word intimacy. And Nick Nurse yesterday, when we were doing our pregame meeting, he used that word. He talked about building trust with players, and he's like, I've spent a ton of time with them this summer. Obviously all September, now get a week of training camp, but I'm not at the point now where there's intimacy. And my question, and this is what I was trying to get to with my tweet, how do you build intimacy? Can you build intimacy if there's always a camera on? There's always a camera on in the locker room. What are you actually doing? If I don't want to like let the cat out of the bag here, but everybody's like, oh, JJ's so real, JJ's so authentic. I give you 90%. You think I'm giving you all 100% when the camera's on? There's not a person in the world that gives 100% when the camera's on. So how are you building intimacy if everything has to be recorded? If there has to be a camera in every single place? It's a challenge, though, because all these teams, and I'm talking about professional sports here, all these teams, we've hired digital media teams. They have a job to do. I get it, and they do a great job. We have this obsession with Hard Knocks, Drive to Survive, all this stuff. Like, I get it. There's stories to be told, for sure. There also has to be moments within a team. Any professional athlete will co-sign that. There has to be a level of intimacy within a locker room. And I just think we're on a slippery slope right now. This is not a knock on Nick Nurse. This is not a knock on Prime. We're on a slippery slope in professional sports right now. The college guys have to do it. Coach Prime has to do it. That's how you build a program. There's no other choice. But in professional sports, it has to be about the players and the bond they have with each other and with their staff. And I don't know if you can fully do that if there's a camera on at all times. Welcome to another.
All right. Okay. So the way I'm going to do this, I'm going to take my time. I took some notes and we're going to break down everything JJ said. First thing he said, in some ways, people think I'm talking about Deion at the beginning. JJ Redick, you was 100% talking about Deion Sanders. What happened was you used to play for the Philadelphia 76ers. You seen that video come out. You felt some type of way and you tweeted it. I respect that he said some ways. I was like, he didn't just say, no, I wasn't talking about it. So I give him a little bit of respect. But that's 100% what happened, and that's what it was. So you just got to stand on it. That's 100% what happened, right? And then he said, I noticed that it wasn't Prime. It wasn't the 76ers team that put it out. It was some people on Prime's team. Brother, you are in this media. You know it was Prime's son that put it out, not Prime team. His son put that out. So let's put this in context. The Philadelphia 76ers came out to Boulder, Colorado. Philly is all the way East Coast. Colorado is not close. So they flew out there to do some training, to whatever it is, but they requested for Deion Sanders to come talk to his team. Going rate for Deion Sanders to come speak right now, since he's the most valuable person damn near in the world, will probably be $150,000 to $300,000 for an hour. Right now, how much money do you think Prime took away from coaching Colorado, being the most busiest man in the world right now? How much do you think he charged them? I can tell you, and I don't even know, but I can say this with a lot of confidence. He charged them $0. Well, just tell me what time. I'll be there. He loved mentoring and feeding into him. But he's willing to do that and not get paid. Well, at least let my son be able to record and get content so he can get paid. Do you guys mind if my son record? If you watch any of his videos, you know the cameras is coming and they're going to be around. If not, if you say no, he will easily, all right, cool. Sometimes when he doing something, talking about stuff, he'll tell his son, hey, Bucky, don't record this. So, yes, it's recorded. That's the first thing. The next thing is he go to I call it the Stephen A. Smith tactic, where before you got to say something bad, you got to, oh, man, Kevin Durant, he's the best. He's the best shooter. He can do this. He can score on anybody. I respect him. Then you say, it's like Stephen A. tactic. You going to say, oh, Prime, man, I respect everything you're doing. Then say some bad stuff. I don't like that. NCAA football, he talked about recruiting. He said Coach Prime have to do it. He said that at the end. He have to do it. With NCAA football, prior to this year and when he was at Jackson, what top schools you seen on a social media recruiting campaign like this? You never in your life seen anything what he's doing. What you mean he have to do it? Nick Saban is number one. How many in the locker room behind scenes things you're seeing with Nick Saban. You're not seeing none. He don't have to do it. It is a smart marketing campaign in NCAA, which he said was right, and we all understand. The way you win in college football, for the new people that's watching, is by recruiting. It's 100% who have the best players on the field. That's number one. Number two is coaching. You got the recruits and you got the coaches. Colorado won one damn game last year. One game. They won one. So how are you going to tell these kids to come to this school that won one game when they could go to a school that won two? They could go to a school that won 5. They can go to a school that won 10. They could go to some schools that went undefeated. You have to give them that Hard Knocks vibe. Because what happens is you have people, 99.9% of the world are not born gifted naturally 6'8". A lot of us are not born 7 foot, 6'6". I'm 5'6". A lot of us are not born to be able to just jump and touch the damn sky. Just natural God-given ability. But a lot of us play sports. A lot of us are competitive. A lot of us love celebrities and the lifestyle they live. Coach Prime is giving you the hard knocks. Access to his team where you feel like you are in the locker room. You feel like you are part of a journey. It's a reason why the world, the people that don't watch football, old woman is watching the Coach Prime, because the stories they giving you the hard knock vibes. That's what regular people like to see, the behind the scene things. JJ Redick sound like that old person. I was talking to one of my friends the other day. She was like, man, I hate the sexy red, man. What is the world coming to? The sexy red, what's the world? Look what stuff she's talking about. Do you guys listen to the lyrics? Prime example. Raise your hand if you guys seen the Red Table Talk with Juvenile. Amazing. But when you slow it down and listen to the lyrics, you like, damn, we were some nasty ass kids. When you listen to Little Kim and break down the lyrics, you listen to Foxy Brown, the lyrics are disgusting. That was our era. Our parents thought the same thing. So now it's like, oh my God, the kid, it's all dumb and crazy. So that's just the way it is. So JJ Redick sound like, oh man, back in my day, we never had no cameras in this. Brother, it's a new generation. It's a new time. Oh, man, my time, they never recorded and put on social media. It wasn't social media. Not on this level. Now, the players is putting locker room stuff on social media. Everything is about marketing and promoting yourself. All right. Last thing. JJ. And LeBron, I don't think LeBron, I don't know what his part was. JJ, the end thing is, people is giving you flack because what Coach Prime doing is dominating and taking over social media and recruiting on a whole different level we never seen before. And you said the word intimacy. Can we... What did he say? Can we build trust? Can players build trust? I get it. Okay. He said, can you build intimacy when the cameras are always on? This is the deal. You do not supposed to build intimacy with your teammates while the cameras are on. When your teammate is going through a kid custody issue with his baby mama, when a family member just died, when they going through whatever demons they going through, you call them and you pull up to their house with some beers, some weed, whatever it is, and you sit there and you talk to them and you let them vent and you learn about them as a person. That's how you build. I go to the gym today. And since I go to the gym 5 days out the week, I see the same people every time. So I communicate and talk to them. One of the guys, the manager at the gym, hey, what's up, so-and-so, how you doing, blah, blah. So at the end, while I'm finished my workout, I'm sitting in one of the little hydro massage chairs. I'm like, hey, come here. I'm like, yo, did you follow up with old girl that you met at so-and-so place? Did you take her out on a date yet? His eyes glue up. He's like, Lando, we are 100% official. I say, what? Man, what happened? So we're talking about this. And he at the end, he was like, thanks for asking me about that, man. That made my day. That's how you build intimacy. You don't build it when there's places when cameras on. What Coach Prime is doing with all these cameras is teaching these young men the real life and the life they live in now is cameras are always on 90% of the way you move when you are a professional athlete or you're a celebrity. If Donald Trump knew that, he's grabbing chicks by the peas, saying anything you want, and you're getting them trouble for it. Look how many people have written books about Donald Trump and snitched on him, ratted on him, listening to, recording his calls. He couldn't trust anybody. You can't trust anybody nowadays because somebody is going to be recording. If you look at Deion Sanders' son, Shiloh, that one game he got injured, he talking smack to him. He made, I beat your A. I beat your coach's A. Somebody got a camera on. Let's paint Shiloh in a negative light. He said all of this type of stuff. Deion Sanders' son supposed to be. Cameras will always be on, so you have to alter the way you move and the way you speak. You have to do it. You have to alter your way. You got to think, JJ, these guys are at work. No, you can't 100% be yourself or have no intimate. You're at work. You're getting paid for a job. Yes, you're going to have your moments where the cameras is not on or whatever it is. Yes, you're going to have those. But majority of the time, if you're not in your own home or somewhere where you know there's not a camera, it don't exist. What's your thoughts in the comments? Was JJ telling the truth, spitting facts, or was he hating?